Welcome back. David Hertel in for Elias. Nigerian-born Kingsley Madu has lived in more than a dozen countries for work. So starting over in a new country is nothing new. But he says nothing could have prepared him for the immigration process into Canada. Moving here in 2019, he says that from the minute he and his family landed in Toronto, he faced financial struggles. And while he had money, he had no credit. Having come out of it the other end, but through many trials and tribulations, he felt that his experience could help others. So he created an app, the first BIPOC focused, BIPOC is Black, Indigenous, People of Color, focused digital banking app in Canada for newcomers with no Canadian credit history, helping them to get on their feet quicker. And Kingsley Madu, founder and CEO of Expedier, joins me now. Thank you so much for joining us, Kingsley.
Thank you, David. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Wow. Congratulations for doing this. Can we go back on your experience, arriving in Canada with your family? How was that?
Well, today it makes me laugh when I stick to it, but on that day, it wasn't funny.
No, I can imagine, yeah.
It wasn't right. Right out from the airport, I knew something was wrong because my Uber app stopped working. It was asking for a local credit card, which I did not have, and managed to find my way out, got to the hotel, and the hotel says, no, we cannot honor your reservation for the same reason. You got no credit card. Luckily, I had some cash on me, so I had to pay 3 days deposit just to get into the hotel. I could not even rent a car for the same reason. So and my Uber wouldn't work, so I was walking across town. Oh, goodness. I should not also rent a house for the same reason because the landlord wanted to see 6 months of credit history. At that point, I'm super frustrated. So I asked the landlord, where do I get this credit? Like, who has it? And then she says to me, it starts from the bank. I walk over to a local bank and I ask the lady at the counter, where do I get credit history? Do you have some? I want to buy it. And she says to me, no, that's not how it works. It starts with opening a bank account. I said to her, for sure, let's do that. Let's open a bank account. And then we get started and she's asking me, do you have a home address? I said, no, that's why I'm here in the first place. She said, well, without a home address, I cannot open a bank account for you. Oh, my goodness. So here I am, essentially stranded on arrival. I cannot rent a house because I do not have credit history. At the same time, I cannot get a bank account because I don't have a house address.
The perfect definition of a vicious circle.
And then I ask myself, who built this system? Right?
Wow.
It was that horrible. I was this close to giving up and going back, but I said no, I'm not going to do that. I'm here now. We're going to have to find a way to live through this, right? Use a friend's home address to open the bank account. Eventually, got in and then started building my life from scratch, one step at a time. And then later on, I asked myself, this is probably not a problem that I only face. I'm sure there are millions of others. And a little bit of research, and I found out, in fact, it's right on statistics, the Canada's website, that millions of people like myself are going through this same problem.
Exactly.
Then I said, wow, then that needs a solution. And put a team together, we built out Expedier, and voila, today we've got thousands of users saying to us, you're saving my life.
I can imagine. So tell me, how does Expedier work?
All right. So Expedier does a few things and does it very well. We're not trying to solve all the problems. We're just trying to solve a few things. Remember that as an immigrant, without access to credit, I still have to fund my lifestyle, right? I still need to pay bills. Cash is king. But the credit system doesn't recognize cash, right? But I still have to spend the money. But remember that I've also left my native land and I'm here now. And most of my funds will still some other location outside of our nation, Canada, right? So the first thing that Expedier does is leveraging open banking. We allow our users to get access to the money irrespective of where that money is. If it's in Europe, if it's in Africa, if it's in the US, you get access to it instantly on our app. You can plug in your bank account, move your money through it, and get access. So that way, you could still fund your lifestyle without credit, right? So that's the first thing we do. We do that very well. The next thing is that we would now be reporting those transactions and rental as well to Equifax and the rest of other credit bureaus out there, right? That way, users can build credit history, right? Users build credit history.
So you get access to your credit history from the country you're from.
Exactly.
So you get your Equifax file, for example, one of the agencies. You get your file. You get access to your credit history file from, say, example, Nigeria.
Correct.
Okay.
We pull that, right? And then we're able to translate that over to here and then help you start off with a base credit, right? So you don't have to start from scratch. And as you spend money and, like rent, for example, we're able to report that back as well. That way, it even helps you build credit even faster.
That's amazing. And so how long did it take you to develop this app?
We've been in the works for almost 4.5 years now.
Really?
Right. We spent the first 3 years just building this solution, right? Of course, we had to bootstrap it to start with, but that's fine.
Right.
But yeah, we've been at it, for a few years, and then sometime last year we went live.
You went live.
We just rolled it out, last year.
And you mentioned how many users?
Right now we've crossed 10,000 downloads.
Wow.
And our apps right across iOS and Android, and it's just surging and growing every day.
So I'm sorry, I missed that. So where is it available? It's on Android?
It's on both Android and iOS.
Okay, so you could get it I could get it through my iPhone
You could just go to your app store and you get it.
On the app store. Is it free?
Yeah, it's completely free. That's the best part of our offering.
Wow. That's just amazing. So when you arrived to Canada with your family, was that the plan? What was the plan in terms of work?
That wasn't the original plan, right? That wasn't the original plan, to be honest. But then my first year in Canada, I couldn't even get work.
My goodness.
Because recruiters wanted to see, they would always ask, do you have a Canadian experience? I'm like, I just came in. I don't have Canadian experience, but I've got international experience. I've walked around the globe, but that didn't count for nothing most times, right? So my first year, I just did not have anything to do. And that was the time I started building out Expedier. So, well, if I'm going to be idle, I might as well do something, right? So I spent that really building out Expedier, and here we are today. This is just about looking at turning around the adversities that I faced into a solution rather than complaining about it.
It's just a great story. And what was, because you may not know that I'm a former Quebec immigration minister, so I'm very interested in your experience. And so I'm like, so when you arrived, what was your status? Were you an asylum seeker? Were you so what was your reason
I came in with
a work visa?
Yeah,
okay, you came in with a work permit. And so when you arrived, nobody at Immigration Canada was able to give you any type of support, resources, someone to call to help you get you going?
Maybe that was available, but I didn't have access to that, or how I could even access that.
No, a lot of people don't, and that's very important, because I've seen a lot of immigrants, same thing, how to get a permit to drive a car, how to get your Medicare card, how to, it's everything has to be begun from scratch, right?
Correct, and that's the thing I say, right? There's quite a bit of discrepancy between the immigration system and the rest of the system in Canada, right? The immigration system is fantastic. It does a great deal of job just to bring us immigrants in. But then after that, that's a break, right? The system breaks and fractures. Beyond that, you're just on your own. Figure out the rest of your life. And more especially, the financial institutions do not recognize the work that the immigration system is doing, right? They say, well, I don't know you because you don't have a credit history. But the immigration system vetted me.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
They did all of the background checks,
Yeah.
and they said, "You're good to go. You can come in."
You could come
But
in
the
and
banking
work.
sys-
Yeah.
Yes, but the banking system says, "Nope, I don't know you." The recruiters say, "Nope, I don't know you."
Oh, my
So
goodness.
what is going on here?
You're so right to bring this up. Look, Kingsley, first of all, I want to thank you and your family for choosing Canada. I want to thank you for hanging in there and for this great story of entrepreneurship. Really, congratulations and continued success.
Thank you, David. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Kingsley Madu, founder and CEO of Expedier. This is a great app for immigrants coming into the country to build their credit score and their credit history. Fantastic story here.